Fortnite has changed in more ways than you can imagine, from dying when touching water to the ugliest unreleased skins. Here are 16 things different in new Fortnite. While most people assume the game was released in 2017, that just isn't true. Development began in 2011, and when the alpha came out 3 years later, the default skins looked entirely different. I mean, these are horrifying. When you're in alpha, it's gonna look insanely different to the final product, and that's exactly what happened with swimming. Back in the day, it was pretty much non-existent. If you fell into the ocean around the island, you would die immediately. Now, of course, you can't forget going to Loot Lake, where you just walk across really slowly and pretty much be a target. And most fans agreed it became pretty annoying, because you waste all of your mats building long bridges just to get across the lake. But luckily, with the release of Chapter 2, Fortnite added actual swimming. Not only could we save materials, but now we look like dolphins while running from the storm. And a change that nobody expected to happen was the evolution of Fortnite's ripoffs. Some of the most famous Fortnite skins of all time appeared in 2018. Battle Royale had skyrocketed in popularity, and with each season came an iconic battle pass. But a lot of these skins were actually just budget versions of movie characters. In Season 3, the Tier 100 skin was the Reaper, an obvious ripoff of John Wick. He even came with a pencil pickaxe. It couldn't be any more on the nose. And almost exactly 1 year later, Fortnite did the impossible. They added the real John Wick into the game. This was just the start of the metaverse. Fortnite was able to turn Battlehawk into the real Thor, and even Rustlord into actual Star-Lord. But we were all impressed watching Valor turn into Wonder Woman. It still wasn't as exciting as what Fortnite did to cars. For years, the game's vehicles were shopping carts and ATKs, even though there were dozens of cars around the map. Epic Games absolutely did not want players driving cars during the early days, and even came out saying they had no plans to add vehicles. YouTubers kept trying to find ways to get inside or even drive them, but of course they would remain as a decoration. Well, it wasn't until the Joyride update released, and somehow they changed their mind. It's really funny how fast things can switch. But something that has evolved the most over the years has been Fortnite's live events and their storyline. In 2018, we were all blown away by the rocket launch event and the story of Kevin the Cube. But if this exact thing happened in 2022, we would all be super disappointed and call it underwhelming. And that's because of how much it has changed since then. Now our live events are huge, from flying a mech through space to having a concert in the clouds. I mean, the storyline itself is crazy in comparison to 2018. Think about it, Fortnite's biggest mysteries were a small bunker in a forest and the butterfly event. Now we have fully fledged cutscenes, comic books, and so much more. But it wouldn't be possible without the evolution of Fortnite's cosmetics. By far, one of the most known things about Fortnite is the skins and emotes. If you asked any parent what you do in Fortnite, most of them would say dance, and that's because, I mean, it's true. It's a huge part of the game, and in 2018, it's all anyone talked about. From Orange Justice to the floss, even the default dance was iconic. But over the years, Fortnite's cosmetics have become easier and easier to get. Originally, we had a season shop, and you had to be a certain level before you were even able to buy something. Eventually, Fortnite introduced battle passes, which changed the gaming industry forever. While most games had loot boxes, after Fortnite added this feature, it was the talk of the town. I mean, in 2022, almost every single game you could think of now has a battle pass. The item shop also changed over the years. Now we can buy back blings, pets, music tracks, even wraps, and rumor has it we'll soon be able to get weapon charms. That's not all. Movement in Fortnite is insanely different to how it used to be. The game started with just simple walking, crouching, and running. In fact, it saved the world. You weren't even able to crouch. For years it stayed this way, although with the launch of Chapter 2 we got swimming. Even then, just walking around was the same. Occasionally we get mobility items that would help increase our speed, like peppers or icy feet, but the default movement stayed the same. It wasn't until 5 years after Fortnite released that we got new movement. Now you're able to tactical sprint, slide, bash through doors, and even parkour up walls. And hopefully one day we'll be able to add first-person mode to this list. So while we've covered the budget collab skins, Fortnite also used to rip off really popular songs. I mean, the default dance used to have a third version that sounded similar to Faith by George Michael, and Epic had to remove it permanently because of copyright. One of the other default dances, Ride the Pony, was very popular because it was pretty much a Fortnite version of Gangnam Style. It wasn't until January 2021 that Epic was finally able to add the real thing. Some classic emotes like Fresh were also pretty controversial. This was a one-to-one ripoff of the Carlton dance, and the creator, Alfonso Ribeiro, tried suing Fortnite for copying it. Now, he would go on to lose in court and wasn't allowed to have copyright of the dance, but Fresh has not been in the item shop ever since. While so many things have received an upgrade over the years, it turns out that one of the things that made Fortnite so great isn't even around anymore. Back in the early days of the game, we received updates every single week, and because Because of these constant changes, Fortnite was able to become popular extremely quickly. Every few days we had something to talk about, a brand new item, LTM, or whatever. But sadly, we got too used to the constant communication and updates from Epic Games. Around the start of Chapter 2, everything suddenly stopped. Patch notes were a thing in the past, updates were now every 2, even 3 weeks, and didn't have much in them. Epic Games became less active on social media, and some think it's because they were given time off after a ton of crunch over the years, which makes a lot of sense. But flash forward to 2022, and we are back to a new update every 2 weeks, with new POIs, challenges, and map changes. Not as bad as it was in Chapter 2, but we probably still won't see the glory days again. Updates have simply slowed down, and seasons are way longer than they used to be. And that's not the only thing that slowed down. Throughout half a decade of Fortnite, there's only been one thing that's remained the same: the storm. Except, while it might feel the same, you don't realize how much has changed until you go all the way back to where it started in 2017. Originally, the storm was bright blue and looked like a wall of hexagons. This was the OG storm, and honestly, just looking at this makes me feel nostalgic. Over the next few years, we would watch as the Fortnite storm would change colors, make new sounds, and actually become a thunderous storm. Eventually, the way it worked also changed, from the way that circles would move to giving out structure damage, and in 2022, we also received a new feature called Storm Sickness that would kill you for camping outside the zone for too long. Most of these changes have been the result of tournaments. Thanks to competitive Fortnite, Epic has stopped releasing wacky and unpredictable weapons and focused more on balancing the game. But it didn't used to be like this. In fact, competitive Fortnite barely even existed in 2018. It mostly started with Friday Fortnite, a fan-made tournament that was hosted by Keemstar. Every week, we'd watch our favorite creators battle for a cash prize on Twitch, and it quickly became one of the most popular events in gaming. They gained so much buzz that Epic decided to turn Fortnite into its own esport. So they doubled down, and in 2019 announced the Fortnite World Cup with a $100 million cash prize. It was the biggest competitive event in the history of video games, and the winner, Booga, was propelled to stardom. In 2022, we are still waiting to see more events like that, with the biggest tournament usually being FNCS. But over the years, many pros have quit the game, feeling burnt out and bored of the repetitiveness, so hopefully another World Cup could fix that. Luckily, something that was fixed was team killing. If you played Fortnite in Season 1, you probably remember that you could actually deal damage to your teammates and even eliminate them. Every single match, you were watching your back, just in case your friends decided to troll you, or you got that golden scar and the random with you wanted to get it. While Epic disabled team killing in Season 2, it didn't stop it completely. From 2018 and now, we would see multiple ways to pull this off. With the release of cannons, we were able to launch our friends into the storm or the ocean. Team killing could also be done by swapping seats and cars, and this month, Fortnite broke for a day and accidentally enabled the feature. But something that wasn't an accident was the overhaul to shotguns. Right now, we have items like the Prime or the 2-shot shotgun, and you could go a whole game without picking one up. But back in 2018, you had to use a shotgun or you would just lose the match. They dominated the meta with tricks like the pump sniper or double pump. I mean, even then, you could choose attack and still annihilate enemies. And obviously, this isn't a then versus now comparison if we don't talk about building. This is probably the most important change in all of Fortnite, because in 2018, some of the best players in the world were those who just started learning how to build. Basic ramps and walls would let you annihilate anyone in the lobby. But over time, they got better, faster, and with the introduction of turbo building, this is where Fortnite became a sweat fest. People spent hours a day practicing building and editing, and with the launcher playground mode, it became even easier to do so. In 2021, the game was in its worst state ever. Thanks to skill-based matchmaking, everyone was put into a lobby with some of the sweatiest players out there, and were forced to adapt or be left behind. This caused a lot of people to quit, but luckily, we've come full circle, because in 2022, Fortnite introduced zero builds, and it's one of the most popular modes in the game right now. And I mentioned playground mode because this has also gone through one of the craziest evolutions over the years. It started out as a pretty simple mode where you could create a custom match with your friends, but flash forward to 2022 and we have creative mode, where everything you need is available at the push of a button. We are just months away from the release of Creative 2.0, where we'll be able to mod things into Fortnite and create fully fledged video games. While creative mode is the future of Fortnite, we also need to look at the past. It's about to become a sandbox platform that works just like Roblox and Minecraft, but it was never intended to be this way. In fact, Fortnite wasn't supposed to be a battle royale or even a cartoon strategy game. Fortnite started off as a horror survival game, and according to Pete Ellis,
it was very foggy, it was very gray, something in the vein of like Resident Evil.
Well, here we are where they decided to go a cartoony route so that the game would age well. I'm really thankful for that, because that version of Fortnite wouldn't be anywhere near as popular as the game we all know and love today. It's been Tommy, keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.